We're doing. I got another question and answer coming for you. A lot of people ask me when they order coffee or if they're about to order coffee, they ask me, well, what do I need in order to make your coffee? You don't need anything. You make coffee the way that you already do make coffee. Unless you only buy pre-ground coffee and you don't have a coffee grinder. If you don't have a coffee grinder, I do recommend that you get a coffee grinder. We will eventually start offering coffee grinders as well. But you can use your bullet blender. You can buy a cheap coffee grinder. There are a lot of schools of thought about, people can taste the difference if it's an electric grinder versus a manual grinder. You can get a manual grinder anywhere. You can get an electric grinder anywhere. Burr grinders are nicer just because they give you a more even grind. But then we're getting into a lot of the aficionado stuff, or the coffee community takes things, in my opinion, sometimes too far. Like you don't need to go out and buy a Chemex and a gooseneck kettle and a scale that has a timer on it. Like you don't have to go that far. You're more than welcome to go that far. You can make coffee however you want to make coffee. That's the whole point of it. But you don't have to adhere to any certain type of rules of coffee, saying that just because somebody likes coffee this way, or a large group of people within the coffee community say that this coffee is better. If you want to drink it that way, then by all fucking means, drink it that way. But if you have a coffee maker, just make it in a coffee maker. I don't use a coffee maker anymore because I'm kind of weird. Like one time, this was a long time ago, I was making coffee in my little coffee maker, that sits on the counter, and I didn't put any coffee beans in it. And it started and it ran, and I walked up to it, and it was kind of surprising because it wasn't actually coffee in a pot. And I pull out the coffee thing, and it was fucking disgusting. And I don't know how to clean inside of a fucking coffee maker, so I've never used a coffee maker since then because I don't know what the fuck is inside there. And all that mold needs to grow is moisture and darkness, and it's dark in there, and you put water in there. So I don't use a coffee maker anymore. So then I switched over to using a French press. I started using a French press, and then, for cleanup purposes. So two reasons I don't use large French presses on the daily anymore is because it's hard to drink it all before it all goes, like, it's not like piping hot anymore. So then I bought like a ceramic heater, like a large style, like mug heater. And I would keep the French press on there so that it would stay hot until I drank it all, over the course of 45 minutes. And it started tasting burnt because, there was no control on the heater of like how hot to keep it. And then it was the cleanup because I drink more than one, even the largest French press I have, I drink more coffee than that, just getting started in the morning working from home. And it was the cleanup. I was having trouble, with the beans being everywhere, being all in my sink, and cleaning that out. So I wanted to go back to a filtration system so that I could just pick up the filter with the beans in it and just throw it away easily. And that's when I started doing pour over, was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I've stuck with that just because it takes a little bit more time to make it a cup at a time, but each cup is super, super piping hot, and it's really, really easy to clean up afterwards. It doesn't make a whole mess. But bottom line is you make coffee the way that it makes sense for you. If you drink a shit ton of coffee, make it by multiple pots. If you just have 1 cup of coffee, just make 1 cup of coffee. And you do you, don't listen to everybody else. Find what's convenient for you, find what appeals to your tastes, and stop listening to everybody else. Stop saying that, I need to get this because it's going to taste better. It's like, you drink it how you like it. That's it.